What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation.
What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be talking about Superman and Lois. Yes, we are back with DC TV. And when I tell you that this show came out the gate killing, like, oh my God, these first two episodes are freaking amazing. I'm so glad it's back. I'm so glad DC TV is back. Even though the CW has turned into garbage, I'm glad they still delivered with this final season. And yeah, these episodes are going to be amazing across the board. So you know how I do in these videos. I don't go in any particular order. But before we get into that, if you are new here, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and become a channel member today. If you have seen me before, you're not a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit the alert bell so you never miss another one of my nerdy videos. Now, without further ado, Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 1, Episode 2, they're doing the death of Superman. And when I tell you they did it right, they did it differently. They did it their way, which is what we were promised, and they did not disappoint. To see the fight between Doomsday, or as I call him, Doomzaro, and Superman, to see the toll that the blows were having on Clark's body, because, and yes, spoilers, this Doomsday, his spikes are not just spikes. His spikes are orange K. What should be killing Doomzaro is making him stronger. And yes, this thing is a beast. He's a beast. He's humongous. He's taking chunks out of Superman. And we see like the fight on the moon, the special effects, the CGI was, the cinematography was like top notch. They may had to scale down the budget, but they did not skimp on the budget when it came to the special effects. You know, when it came to any of that stuff, they did not skimp on the budget, and I'm very thankful for that. Where they did skimp on the budget is not every, you know, a lot of the series regulars that we had last season, they're not series regulars anymore, and you felt that. It wasn't as felt the past two seasons, even though they weren't in every single episode, but in this, you did feel it. We didn't get the Irons at all for the first two episodes. We didn't get Kyle and Chrissy, whom I really don't care about. We didn't get Lana until the end of the first episode. We only got Sam in the first episode. But speaking of those character arcs, seeing Sam deal with being held hostage by Otis and Gretchen, which we learned that's not really her name. Is Gretchen Eve Tessmacher in disguise? Is she? Either way it goes, Eve not the fighter that, you know, she tried to be in some other iterations, because Lois hemmed her up and knocked her out very quickly, if I might add. But yeah, they buried Sam alive, and like I said, I'm jumping around. The whole scene with Jordan digging him out at super speed, saving her grandfather, basically trying to be that super figure that he now has to be, because at this point they don't know where Clark is. They don't know if he's okay. He can't hear his heartbeat. Well, of course, he's all the way in outer space, and Jordan, I should say, is still learning their powers. Now, when it comes to the boys, when it comes to John, they had some great heart-to-heart moments. John, excuse me, I'm just so excited. John is trying to help Jordan, you know, Lois says for him to help search for Sam's heartbeat. Clark told them not to look for him, as we know. Don't follow him, don't do nothing, let him handle it. So they're doing it, but of course, Jordan is having a hard time doing that. We all know how Jordan is. He's trying to prove himself. And we hear Lois in episode 2 say that that was her biggest fear when he did develop these powers. He would try to prove himself. He'd try to become something he's not quite ready for yet. And as we see, that indeed does happen. And that is affecting John. John is pissed about that. Rightfully so. But, I mean, he did try. So, I mean, that's all you can say is, he did try. He tried to be that hero. Tried and failed. I mean, he got punked by Luther. And and can we talk about Luther? Michael Cutlets. Like, bro, like 2 episodes in, like, of course, you made your mark at the end of last season, which was over a year ago. You made your mark. But you came out the gate killing. Physically imposing. Mentally imposing. You're strategic. Very strategic. And you know how to get business done, bro. Like, you're terrifying. And that's the best kind of villain. This Lex Luthor is different from any Lex Luthor, I should say, excuse me, that we have had before. And I'm loving that. I cannot wait to see more from this character. We also get introduced to his assistant. I guess she's been running Luthor Corps while he was in prison, while he's been away. She's been back in Metropolis handling everything. Amanda, yes, she's a character from the comics. And I recognize the actress from the show Kung Fu, so it was good to see her, getting work still on the CW, even though they did her show bogus. But that's a story for another time. But yeah, it was good to see her. Is there some romantic type things in the air for those two? Maybe later on down the line. But she is basically giving him information that he needs on his daughter, as well as trying to handle the day to day and try. And she is shocked that he wants to stay in Smallville. Speaking of staying in Smallville, he moved into the old abandoned hotel that's across the street from the Smallville Gazette. Yes, the same Smallville Gazette that Lois works at. So, he's not scared of anything. He pops in on Lois time and time again throughout these first two episodes. He's going to dinner at the diner. And speaking of at the diner, props to Sarah for not being scared of that man and standing up. Like, she said, "What's good here?" She says, "Anything is better than prison food." I said, "Oh, that's a burn." The burns that they were saying these first two episodes were freaking amazing. But what else was freaking amazing? The flashbacks, the different flashbacks that we got between Clark and Lois from basically their first time after she told him like who he really was. And we get to see that, yes, Clark did lose his virginity to Lois because he was always scared that he was going to hurt or, kill somebody because, well, he's not from here. He's not human. He doesn't know how to control his strength in that way type. Yeah, he was scared that he would lose control. To when they were having the twins and she was having the seizures and having the complications and how she had to calm him down, make him more human because he was freaking out. He was trying to take her to the fortress. She said no. So it was good. Even the scene of he got done fighting Luther in the past when they were in Metropolis. And like he showed up and he still had the piece of kryptonite. She pulls it from his neck. Just all those cute moments. I am going to miss this version of Clark and Lois so much. This show was just so good, guys. Like, I give these first two episodes 10 out of 10s. Like, they handled the death of Superman so very well. I mean, bro, episode 2 alone, the phone call that Lex gave Lois. Pick one for John, pick two for Jordan, basically. Like, that's crazy. Calling from Clark's number. Like, Lex, what is wrong with you? And yeah, he's upset because she sent him to prison. He's saying he didn't do anything, but we all know it's Lex. You did it, bro. You just don't want to admit it. So he's punishing her. He lost out on time with his daughter. His daughter will not speak to him. I feel like that's more of a his fault type of thing, but he says his ex-wife has poisoned her against him, and that's what he eventually wants to do with Jordan and John. And speaking of Jordan and John, since Jordan wanted to play superhero, he went to confront Lex, like I said earlier. Lex punked him. Lex is not scared of no kid, not even if he has powers. We see that he can easily handle Jordan because Jordan doesn't really have a handle on his powers as much as he thinks he does. He does have a resistance to kryptonite, but we see Lex figured out a way around that as well. Jordan went to go save Clark's heart because it's still beating. His mom said possibly if they could put the heart back in his body, it could help regenerate. But of course, after I snapped out of it, I don't think you can just stomp a you can't just stomp a Kryptonian heart. And I don't think Lex would actually stomp on a Kryptonian's heart. I think it's more to it than that. I think that was a fake heart or, somebody else's heart. He still has Clark's heart. That's the only way Clark is going to get revived. But yeah, he goes, Lex stomps the heart. He failed. He thinks he failed. He goes back to his mom. He's at the Smallville Gazette. He's sitting there crying. These episodes were so emotional. Like, me and my wife were sitting watching it, and I found myself having tears come to my eyes because they did their thing, man. They did their thing with these two episodes. This premiere was amazing. Got me ready for the rest of the season. And like I said, I'm going to miss this show. I cannot stress that enough. I'm going to miss this show so very much. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think about these first two episodes? Like I said, I'm giving them both 10 out of 10, guys. I love Superman and Lois. I'm so glad it's back. Peak is back. It's the end of an era for real. This show premiered on the 10-year anniversary of The Flash premiering. So that's another milestone in itself. But like I said, like, share, comment. Let me know what you thought about the episode down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Whew, Clark is dead. When Doomsday... Oh, also, before I go, I also think that Clark wouldn't have died or he wouldn't have been able to get the heart out of his chest if he didn't expel all that energy with the solar flare. He thought it was going to work, but he left himself powerless. He left himself human. And, well, he paid the price for it. So